Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. So we are now officially in the fall, and this is that time when we start, if you like, our academic year. Inshallah, we will be discussing para 28. Okay, and that starts with Surah قد سمع or المجادلة قد سمع الله قول التي تجادلك في زوجها. And as you can see, what Shakil is sharing with us, the 9 surahs that you see in Surah in Para 28, but I followed their history of revelation, okay, and came up with this order. So we will be discussing them in that order. And again, the reason behind discussing these constructs in this order, and their order, if you like, of revelation, okay, hopefully that will help us, okay, to see the process itself, okay, that the revelation or Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam followed, guided by the revelation to address the different issues facing this newly born society on the foundation of a new set of values and virtues. And we have seen in Surah Al-Hujurat, the last surah that we discussed together, and I think it was a very good way of it's a good order, because in that surah we saw how what really is needed to protect the fabric of the society, and on what is the foundation of this newly born society, okay, and the fact that this society came together on the basis of their common belief, okay, doesn't mean that they are not really going to have issues among themselves, among their different really tribes and affiliations, and also with the external world. Okay, so how, again, to what are really the preemptive measures needed in order really to protect the fabric of the society. So when just really like a cursory look at the 9 constructs of this para, basically all of them have been revealed in Medina, and again that will it's a challenge for us, all of us, because now we are going really to see the applications, the real issues, okay, and how to approach these issues and these challenges, okay, and how what was really the Quranic approach to all these, and that will put all of us before a very important challenge: how to bring these approaches, these solutions to our own time and age, how they can help us today the same way they helped that society at that time, and every time really in between. Okay, as long as we look at Quran as the reference for the direction and the reference of the meaning, okay, because we are all searching for a meaning. What does that really mean? Every time we are really facing a new situation, we ask, what does that really a new situation mean to us? And so we need a reference that will help us, okay, to understand what is happening. And really the when we talk about the reference, doesn't mean that that we have to close our minds and put a lock on our reason. No. We are asking the reason to work under the guidance of the reference. Very important, because people may say, okay, oh, then you don't need our minds to work. Just look at this reference and tell you, no, you cannot deal with that reference without really utilizing all your faculties, intellectual faculties. The same way when, okay, take the universe, okay? The universe is the reference for our actions, okay? But does not mean that, I mean, use your reasoning to speculate, and you may be right or you may be wrong. Or to the same issue, you may find several really I mean, interpretations and understanding. Who is right? Who is wrong? But when you have the universe as the reference to validate, as I call it, the larger laboratory, to validate what you have come up with your own intellectual faculties, okay? Whatever the universe endorses and agrees upon, it becomes really the right thing. And this is what constitutes what we call today the scientific approach, okay? The scientific methodology. Scientific methodology, it means that you are trying to see if what you come out with, again, by your reasoning, is validated by the universe. And we gave in the past several examples, but today we can apply it to we were talking earlier about a vaccine for coronavirus, okay? And okay, you are really using your reasoning, you are using everything like to find out what is really the best vaccine, but even if you have it, nobody will accept it unless they see the data, okay, to support that this vaccine is safe and also it is effective. And how we do that? You need to a very large, okay, a study that where you enroll thousands of people, and some of them you give them the vaccine, and another one a placebo, and in a place where the disease is prevalent, okay? Because if there is no disease, you cannot know if the vaccine is working or not. So this is why one company decided to do it in UK as the first place, because their numbers are rising, and so that would be an optimal setting to do the test. So what I am trying to say here, okay, all these clinical trials, what do they really mean? At the end of the day, these clinical trials mean that you are asking the universe, okay, to validate what you have really come up with using your reasoning. Okay, so that's, and the same thing, these issues that we are facing, that we are going to face in the future, okay, we are asking about their meaning, what direction we should take. So I need the reference, but I cannot really the reference Quran in this situation will not help me unless really I ask the right question. And I am using my reasoning all the time, but guided by the reference. You know, in Arabic, mind is aql. This is this faculty, this function of our brain. You see, so we it's called aql. Imam Ali radiallahu anhu wa karram Allah wajha put it very beautifully. He said, "Aqil aqlaka." Even your mind needs something higher than it to control its function. Otherwise, you may go in so many directions and you will not know what is right and what is really wrong. And this is why we need the reference. Okay, and as I said, these constructs, okay, these surahs were revealed in Medina to address different, even looking, can you please put the chart back again? Yeah. The topic may sound like, okay, this could have been discussed in Mecca. Why it is really addressed in Medina? And the surah that we are going to discuss first, At-Taghabun, in fact, it's talking about Yawm At-Taghabun, which is another name of the day of judgment. But why the idea? And we have discussed the issue of the day of judgment in so many surahs revealed in Mecca. But now we are going to see a different approach in Medina to an issue that was discussed before, okay? But what is, it's really, and this is a challenge for us, like why it is really being discussed and what is the way, in what way it was basically presented really in Medina. So again, as you can see, that the issue of nifaq, another example. Okay, so it's amazing. Okay, like how just looking at the titles, it will give you an idea that most of these issues are really addressing social, political, economic challenges. Okay, and hopefully this will give us a really very precious opportunity, okay, to see really a different approach, okay, by Quran to these different really issues. Now, another interesting thing about this para, 4 of the surahs, I'm talking about number 1, Taghabun, Al-Jumu'ah, number 2, As-Saf, number 3, Al-Hashr, number 5. So 4 out of the 9 start with either Sabbaha lillah or Yusabbihu lillah. Tasbih, Subhanallah. Okay? But again, one really wants to ask the question, what is really the relationship? Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us that everything in the heaven and earth, okay, are making tasbih to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are acknowledging that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is beyond error. He is above the mistake. And everything in this universe is making sure that no error is being done. They don't want really like to make any error in appreciating Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and appraising him. Okay, so what is really the decision of the human being? The human being who is potentially, okay, a creature that can make mistakes, and the mistake, or the human being is needed with the idea of the error. Okay, so how much we need this tasbih to always be vigilant that we don't want to be an outlier in comparison to other creatures in this existence. In other words, okay, do you want to be in harmony with this universe around you, or you want really like to go against it and disrupt that unity of this existence? You got it? Give you an example. You remember what we said, that this universe was founded on the basis of the truth. خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق. Is that right? Can you unmute? Because I really want to interact more with the participants.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so خلق السماوات والأرض, fill in the blank, بالحق, which means that the heaven and earth, okay, have been founded on that basis, on the truth, and that truth manifested itself in trustworthiness. The universe always tell you the truth, doesn't lie to you. The universe is really highly ethical and has a lot of integrity. It is constant in everything it does. And so this consistency is another manifestation of the truth. And also the truth manifests itself in the balance that we see and equilibrium that we see everywhere we look at this universe. And so the human, give you an example from Surah As-Saf, which is like number 3 on our list. It starts like this: سبح لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. Tasbih. Everything is making tasbih to Allah. Immediately after that, it says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لم تقولون ما لا تفعلون. O you who believe, why are you saying something that you are not acting upon it? You are not translating it into action. لم تقولون ما لا تفعلون. You are not walking the talking, if you like. Why? In other words, I mean, somebody who says something and does something else, can you say that this individual has integrity?
No.
No. Is that right? So is this action or this discrepancy between walking and talking, okay, is it compatible with the universe or going against the integrity that you see in the universe?
No.
It's against, is that right?
Right.
You see, and this is how I really want you to see the importance. It's not like just like to decorate. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, okay, at the beginning of the surah, سَبَّحَ لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. It's not haphazard. It's a continuous reminder, okay, that you have the best model in what you see around you. I mean, these abstract ideas, okay, may take you some time to, in order really to understand them and to sink. But what you see is much easier. Just look around you and you see how this universe is acting as one unit. As one unit. Then you don't see the, regardless of the size or regardless of the function, all the parts of this universe are acting together in concert. Okay, then you look at the pebble or you look at the mountain and you see them of the same significance, although there is a huge difference in the size between the mountain and the small pebble. You see, you look at the mosquito and you look at the elephant and you see that they are acting in concert. Both are needed. Okay, and regardless, and this is why how I understand إن الله لا يستحي أن يضرب مثلا ما بعوضة فما فوقها. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not shy about bringing an example, the example of the mosquito, or something even smaller than that, because all are important. They are part of this unity that you see in this existence. And where do you want to be? You want to be part of that unity, or you want really like to go against it and cause disruption and corruption and mischief?
Walid, can I ask
Yes,
you one?
please, yes.
It would be nice to expand if you can. You know, when Allah says, "Sabbaha lillahi ma fi samawati wa ma fil ard," obviously, I mean, I shouldn't say obvious. Okay, to my thinking, way of thinking. For instance, the trees, the nature, the river, the ocean, they are not saying Subhanallah Ta'ala the way we are saying, right? But
Yes.
what they are doing, they are performing as precisely as Allah has designed them to do.
Yes, exactly.
For example, the sun rises in the east, goes to he doesn't disobey Allah.
Exactly, yes.
And that is his glorification of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
That is could be
That's
a
the way I would
manifestation.
like to understand.
Yes,
right?
and even Quran said, "وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُم." You may not understand how they are making that tasbih. You see, because I mean, it's not like us, like you can verbalize that. Okay, but look, for example, look at the example of Prophet Dawood alayhi salam. In more than one place in Quran said that إِنَّا سَخَّرْنَا الْجِبَالَ مَعَهُ يُسَبِّحْنَا وَالطَّيْرِ. The mountains and the birds are making tasbih along with him. Again, what does that really mean to us? Okay, yes, you and me, we cannot really understand the secret of that tasbih, okay, or the way it is done. What you mentioned, Brother Noor, is a very good explanation, or one way of how these components of the universe manifest, okay, their tasbih. in a functional way, in a practical way, if you like. Okay, but there may be other manifestations that we don't, but this is not the issue.
Dr.
Okay.
Khair,
Yes.
can we use the word loyalty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for by all these, but the whole universe? So that's what he is asking us to be loyal, whatever order he has given us, instructions we have in the Quran. If we follow those, that means we are showing our loyalty and we are consistent to the universe.
Yes, this is again, this is the whole idea. Okay, you can give it different really names or different all these are manifestations, different facets, okay, of that unity that we are asked to join. Okay, and remember that we are different from the other creatures in this universe because we have this duality. We can obey and be loyal, as you said, the brother Yusuf, or we have the ability to be disloyal and to disobey and to rebel. Okay, but okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to show all the creatures that despite the fact that you are able to rebel, you have made the decision to obey and to be part of that unity in the universe. Okay, so again, how, okay, to see that unity through tasbih, through sujood, through wahi. I mean, these are, I call them universal phenomena, because all creatures join, okay, and all these phenomena apply. These are cosmic phenomena. When you talk about tasbih, everything is making tasbih, and we are invited also to be part of that universal phenomena. Everything makes sujood. وَلِلَّهِ يَسْجُدُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. You see, sujood also is a common, is a universal phenomena, and we are asked to, but out of our volition. You see, وَنَفْسٍ, you make your own definition, while others have been defined from the beginning. They make tasbih and sujood, and they cannot go outside that. But the human being, okay, when you do it with the ability to do the opposite, it's much stronger. You see, that's why I mean, the human being has a different position in this universe.
Status.
You have a different status. You are responsible about defining yourself. That was not given to the sun or to the moon or to the earth or to the heaven or to the day or to the night. Only the human being. وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. So,
can I draw a...
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Please, go ahead.
I just want to highlight a contrast between humans and one of the components of nature listed as sun. Allah says, وَالشَّمْسُ لَا لِسْتَمَرْ لِمُسْتَقَرِّ لَهَا ذَلِكَ التَّقْدِيرُ الْعَظِيمِ. Allah has decreed for him to behave, right?
Yes.
But he did not decree the similar way, at least not that as I understand. We have the free, like you said, we have our own volition to exercise. Right?
Exactly. And this is very important distinction. After that, Quran said, لَا الشَّمْسُ يَنْبَغِي لَهَا أَن تُدْرِكَ الْقَمَرِ وَلَا اللَّيْلُ سَابِقُ النَّهَارِ كُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. Have you seen the night outstripping the day, or coming at a different out of its really appointed time. No, year after year, okay, depending where you are, you see, okay, the same calendar. Okay, and the same thing, the moon and the sun, each one in its orbit. They cannot go outside it. This is how they were defined from the beginning. While the human being, okay, is going to do that, okay, out of belief, out of a choice, free choice. This is huge, my dear brothers and sisters, and that will also play a major role in the surah that we are going really, or the first surah, Surah At-Taghabun, that we are really going really to discuss. But I hope that I have given you, okay, some background, okay, about the whole para, okay, and and how these discussions, okay, I don't know how long it will take this year, or probably also the next year. We'll see how we are at what pace we are going. But really, it's the most important thing is really to understand these concepts, okay, and to connect them together so that they constitute a clear vision. You
Dr.
see,
Khayr,
yes.
Can I mention something here? This is Muzaffar. Even about mosquito has importance in Earth.
Yeah.
Similarly, even an ant has an importance, because
yes.
Prophet Solomon was riding a horse, he overheard the ant saying, "You're being..."
Yeah.
So he diverted his route. So he could, even ant has a place in this earth.
Yes, exactly. So that again, this is how, I mean, okay, you know, and like in Surah An-Naml, there is a surah designated the ant or ants. Okay, Surah An-Naml, you see the story of Prophet Sulaiman.
Right.
And he would really come by a place, and there will be a lot of ants, and he start talking to them. But the bigger picture here is that with Sulaiman alayhi salam and his status, not as only a human being, but also a prophet and also a king. Right. I mean, who has been given a lot of things under his own command. Humans and jinn and animals, I mean, all were under his control and his sovereignty. But that did not make him, okay, someone who will really look at the ant as something unimportant. You see, but he was really able to connect with a creature as small as the ant. Okay, فتبسم ضاحكا من قولها. But he realized like how important what he was given, and again they, like his father Dawood alayhi salam, in a different way, is showing that he should be like his father, continue that legacy of how to show themselves, the people around them. And remember, Quran would capture these things because these are everlasting lessons. How to be part, a harmonious component of this universe. To see the value, to see the unity in this existence. No matter how far they can be apart from each other, these components, however, in their function, in their size, in their locations. I mean, take it from any perspective. Okay, they come together in this unity, and this unity starts from the beginning of the creation of this existence till the end. Okay, so every time there is a creation, okay, it will reflect the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why you heard me saying over the years that when we talk about Tawheed, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we look at it as it becomes for you and me a vision. This is how you order things around you. This is how you see things around you. You see even the coronavirus. Since it is part of this existence, we have to look at it as part of that unity. We need to see how to deal with it, how to tame it, how to tame that virus, the same way you tame a beast. Okay, so this is a different approach. You are not here to make conflicts with the things around you. This is why I said when we were discussing Surah Al-Hujurat, the unity of the society emanates from the unity in the universe. It's the same vision. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Please share this with people around you, that the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not only acknowledging that He is the only one God. It should become the vision by which you see everything in this world as coming together in one unity. No matter how they are different in their locations, in their size, and their function, okay, all are working together. All the elements, okay, the air, the energy, the soil, okay, all the major components, they are working together. You see it every day.
Right.
Don't you plant a flower
Yes.
in your backyard?
Yeah.
Don't you see that the product that you see is really the result of the interaction between all these elements together just to produce a small flower that is going probably to live for a few days? But it is really a good example of how the different components are working together in a highly balanced way. And see what will happen if that balance is disrupted. The flower will not come out.
And Allah reminds us that ma amilat aydihim.
Yes. In other words, you are this is what makes you and me different.
Yes.
Okay? Different not to mean that you are better. Please. Different means that you have a different function, a higher function, how to bring everything together, how to protect everything else. You are a trustee on all these things. You see, Khalifa. Deal with it as Khalifa. Again, Dawood alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded him after he did not judge justly between two opponents. Okay, he reminded him, why you are not following the justice this as a manifestation of the truth. يا داود إنا جعلناك خليفة في الأرض فاحكم بين الناس بالحق. Judge among the people by the truth. Why? Because وما خلقنا السماء والأرض وما بينهما باطلا. The heaven and earth have not been created by vain, by the truth. They were not created on the basis of falsehood, but they were created on the basis of the truth. Follow that truth, even in your when you are really judging, in your own judgment. Follow the truth and the justice in your own judgment. You see the connection? Because you have a model, a huge model, beautiful model around you.
That's why, Dr. Walid, I was reading Bal's last poem that he wrote before his death. It was Hazrat Insan, means human being. And last sentence, last verse of his poem was, if I am the end of all, then what lies beyond? Where lies the limit of my unending adventures? That's what he said in his last verse, addressing humans, like basically saying that we are the one, that everything revolves around us.
Yes.
The entire universe.
Yes.
We are created. Humans are created for this universe.
Yes.
Right?
And again, look at your size as a human being.
Yeah.
What is my size compared to the planets around me?
Nothing.
Very minute. Very minute.
Very minute. But Iqbal is echoing what Imam Ali radiallahu anhu said long time ago. وَتَحْسَبُ أَنَّكَ جُرْمٌ صَغِيرٌ. You think, you are miscalculating. You think that you are a small creature or a small planet. وَتَحْسَبُ أَنَّكَ جُرْمٌ صَغِيرٌ. A very small planet. وَفِيكَ انطوى العالم الأكبر. And the whole universe has been included in you.
Our imagination.
Everything is rotating. سخر لكم ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. Everything has created in the preparation for this human being to come to this existence. How many years it took of preparation?
5,000.
Billions of years. Billions of years. Until this universe really became ready for the human being to show up. And you were given all these as resources in order to achieve to fulfill our human enterprise.
Our job is.
And we became the enterprise. Think about it. You see, you are tasked to fulfill an enterprise, but as you are looking at this enterprise, you realize that the enterprise is you. You are the target. In other words, you have to realize your humanity in order to fulfill your enterprise on the outside. But everything starts inside you. If the foundation inside you is precarious, are we going to achieve and fulfill?
That's the challenge.
This is a challenge. And this is why Al-Malaika were really suspicious. They have seen what creatures have done on the earth, how much corruption and mischief. And they were suspicious. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no, you know that you don't know. إِنِّي أَعْلَمُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Don't you see here that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala believes in us?
He knows.
This is how, he knows that this human being is capable. Is capable.
Even us, we don't realize that.
Yeah, this is why when you have a student or a co-worker and you know their capacity, you know how much they can put on the table, but they are not. You say, look, guy, you can do much better. I know you. I know your capabilities. So what are you doing here? You are just reminding them that we believe in you. This is why we are keeping you. But you have to utilize what you have. Bring what is inside you out. And so it means that this individual has to work on him or herself first.
Find out the truth.
Yeah.
If you don't look at, if you don't study, if you don't get there, give something a dedication, you're not going to find the truth at all.
And who knows?
Our job is doing that one. We have to do that.
Yeah, and who knows more about the truth inside us than us? بل الإنسان على نفسه إنسان. Shakil, you see how Quran is talking about a universal issue here that belongs to every human being or applies to every human. بل الإنسان على نفسه بصيرة ولو ألقى معاذيره. You are conscious of yourself. You have insight. You see, animals in the best, that's what I believe. They can be conscious of themselves or the environment surrounding, but they are not conscious about what is inside them. And no one, we have not seen any animal coming out telling us what is in there inside them. The only person, the only creature who can do that is the human being. You can tell others what is going inside you.
Let's make a difference from
ولو ألقى معاذيره. You know the truth, despite your ability to put before everybody all the excuses. بل الإنسان على نفسه بصيرة ولو ألقى معاذيره. So again, the whole challenge again before us, okay, is how to see ourselves as part and parcel of this existence. This existence is founded on the truth and is working together, working in unison. There is a unity that the human being is invited to join by their own volition. Human beings are invited to join this united universe. So Surah At-Taghabun, the word Taghabun was mentioned only one time in Quran. And you see it in verse number 9 of this surah. يَوْمَ يَجْمَعُكُمْ لِيَوْمِ الْجَمْعِ ذَلِكَ يَوْمُ التَّغَابُنِ. Okay? Quran is saying, think of the time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will assemble you. Taghabun. Now, what does it really mean? Literally, the word taghabun. So you can see that Quran is using this term, okay, to address the day of a judgment, the next if you like, the next life, okay, or the day of a judgment, the day of assembly, okay, is referred to here as Yawm At-Taghabun. Now, At-Taghabun is really when you have a transaction, you are selling and buying, okay, or when people are selling and buying. In every deal, okay, you would expect, okay, the deal to be equitable, meaning that both sides feel that when they are exchanging, okay, a merchandise for, let us say, for money, okay, that you are really paying, okay, the right price for that merchandise, and both sides will be happy. Okay, you go to buy a car, and okay, you pay, let us say, $10,000 for that car, and you feel that the price is right, okay, as a buyer or a seller, both sides will feel, I mean, happy about that transaction, and no one feels that he or she is losing in that really deal. But if I go and like sell a house or a car to someone, and I felt that, oh my God, it's worth 100,000, for example, the house, and that buyer only pays me $80,000 for that house. So you feel that you have lost. Is that right? It's not the right deal you want. You say, in Arabic they say maghboon. The seller in this situation, okay, feels he or she has lost. So we say maghboon, okay, they have lost, okay, in that deal. So from that tangible, okay, if you like, meaning, okay, because transactions are something, okay, it's tangible, can be measured, okay, this house, okay, is worth this amount of money, and this is the amount that you would really, plus or minus, that you would really sell the house for. But if the amount is really away from what you have, what it's worth, it becomes really a loss for you, okay? And this is where the transaction, okay, so there was Taghabun has happened, where, because Taghabun is really an action or that is taking place between more than one person, two or more, okay, or at least between two people, okay. So that's why this type of a transaction was really Taghabun, where there was a gain, but there was really a loss. A good transaction where both feel that they have really gained, okay, they both are happy about the price that was earned and the price that was basically offered. And so that term was used to apply it to the day of a judgment, where, I mean, the loss that you see in a transaction in this life appears nothing compared to the loss that may happen in the day of a judgment. You see, so you don't want, okay, to be among the losers in the day of judgment and the day of assembly.
Brother Walid, can you clarify one thing though?
Yeah, please.
So when you talked about Taghabun in the worldly sense, we have, there's negotiation, there's give and take, but on that day, there's no bartering, there's no negotiation. It's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He decides what He wants to do, right?
Yeah. But the idea of take from that transaction, okay, that abnormal, if you like, a transaction, okay, the idea of loss, okay. So and the day of judgment, okay, there will be people who gain and those who really lose.
Yes.
So the idea is really to you can understand the loss, okay, that on a simple transaction happening in this life, okay, just like to bring the idea of loss closer to our really understanding, to our comprehension. Okay, like at the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah, Quran said, أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم. You see, now Huda, guidance, and Dalal, misguidance, are very abstract concepts. Is that right? But Tijara, okay, where like a transaction, trade, okay, where there is really something that you can measure and tangible. There is money and there is merchandise. Easy to see it. Okay, that this is not a profitable, okay, deal. It's not a profitable transaction. When you are really exchanging guidance by misguidance, what type of tijara, what type of transaction, you see? So again, to take something that again, you are talking, however, people in Mecca or later in Medina, okay, where they send these caravans, and Medina is a very important, really like hub, because it was also a very important, its location, okay, on the trade routes, okay, in Arabia. So people understand deals and the transactions and the trade, okay, and they understand the meaning of gaining and losing, profiting and losing. So who are really the profiters, who are the losers? Easy to see them in these transactions. And so look at your life as a big transaction. Do you want to be maghboon? Do you want to be at a loss?
No.
Imam Ali radiyallahu anhu, again, I see in his sayings, where are the key words that he took from Quran? He said, من استوى يوماه فهو مغبون. If your 2 days are equal, you are at a loss. Imam Ali wants from us, this is what he learned from Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and both learned from Quran, that you have your today should be better than your yesterday. Tomorrow should be better than today. If they are the same, even if they are the same, you are losing. You are maghboon. This is not a good deal. This is not a profitable transaction.
Very interesting that you bring this up here. The Western world believes this so strongly that we got to be better tomorrow than we are today.
No question about it.
But in the Islamic world, unfortunately, they just don't.
Unfortunately, yes. And Imam Ali said it 1400 years. Man istawa yawmahu fahuwa maghboon.
Yes.
You are at a loss if your 2 days look the same. In other words, you have not earned something new. You have not learned something new. You have not done something new, different from the day before.
Right.
Yeah. Dr.
Now, yes, but 1 second. Now imagine, okay, take the whole life as a day and the day of a judgment as another day. You see, now you want to be maghboon, or you want really to invest here in this life to see a better outcome in the next life.
Obviously.
يوم. You see, يوم يجمعكم ليوم الجمع ذلك يوم التغابن. We are going to live for a certain time on this life. Okay? Let us call this time يوم. Okay? Time. Okay? If you are not investing for that life, you will be among the losers. We will be among the losers. I will be among the losers. You see why it is taghabun?
Yes.
Okay, it's very beautiful, but I mean, it is very advanced. Okay, I mean, way of approaching the day of a judgment. Okay, different from the way it was approached in Mecca. It is honestly, it is really advanced and really taking the whole social structure and the whole dynamic of this new place, okay, and the approach itself changed. Where is this word shows up? As we said in verse number 9. How?
Right in the middle.
In the middle. In the middle of the surah. Now, Brother Shakil, put for us the diagram.
If I may add
please,
something.
Go ahead. Yeah,
okay.
Please.
Going back to Brother Noor's, this ayah, what we are reading, يَوْمَ يَجْمَعُكُمْ لِيَوْمِ الْجَمْعِ ذَلِكَ يَوْمُ التَّغَابُنِ. Allah is clarifying there won't be any negotiation and all those things are done. We were given a chance in this world to do what needs to be taken care of. But in the next ayah, وَمَنْ يُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ وَيَعْمَلْ صَالِحًا يُكَفِّرْ عَنْهُ سَيِّئَاتِهِ وَيُدْخِلُهُ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. I mean, that's the gist of it. It's just that's the result.
Yes, you said what I was going to say, honestly. Okay. Because really this is, and if you continue, Brother Yusuf, verse number 10, this is why I put them together as the center.
وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَكَذَّبُوا, that's the opposite. بِآيَاتِنَا أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا وَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرُ.
Okay, you see now At-Taghabun.
Yeah.
You see, so even those who believed and did the good actions, آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات, or من يعمل صالحا يؤمن بالله ويعمل صالحا. You see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala covered up his sins, his mistakes. Kaffara is the opposite of ghafara, or to mean ghafara. You see, ghafara is to cover, to hide. You got it?
Yes.
The same way when you say kafara is like because al-kafir also means the farmer. What does the farmer do? They plant the seeds in the soil and then they cover it up and with the soil. Is that right? This is why one of the meanings of kafara is to cover. kaffara, okay, but here kaffara, the sins, which means cover, hide their sins. They are not there anymore. Like ghafara. Ghafara also is to cover. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you see how the believers profit even more, and the discrepancy becomes wider and wider with the opposite. Those who covered the truth and belied the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will be suffering in hellfire for long time. وَبِئْسَ الْمَصِيرِ. This is the worst outcome. While the believers are given the gardens with the rivers running underneath them, beneath them, and they are staying forever. Abada. ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. This is the true, the great achievement. This is the great victory. This is the great success.
Brother Walid, can you clarify just one? This event is preceded by another event that's in another surah where Allah says, إِن كَانَتْ إِلَّا صَيْحَةً وَاحِدَةً فَإِذَا هُمْ جَمِيعٌ لَدَيْنَا مُحْضَرُونَ. Can you connect this Yawm At-Taghabun and this ayah that I just recited?
Yeah. I mean, the same thing. If you notice, يَوْمَ يَجْمَعُكُمْ لِيَوْمِ الْجَمْعِ. The beginning of the ayah number 9, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assemble all of you to the day of assembly. Okay, so and that will happen by one call, صيحة واحدة, فإذا هم محضرون. Or another place, فإذا هم قيام ينظرون. So it's in body and soul. قيام, you see, I mean, like you are standing up. You will, people are laid in their graves and they stood up.
Right.
And it's very beautiful. يَوْمَ يَجْمَعُكُمْ, not only to gather you together, but also gather you individually, because we are parts that we have really disappeared in the soil, where we have been buried. Is that right?
Right.
وَقَالُوا أَإِذَا ضَلَلْنَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Like when we have been lost, as our bodies are lost in the soil, in the earth. Okay, you need the one who will bring them together also. So يَوْمَ يَجْمَعُكُمْ, to gather you together as individuals, and then gather us together in groups, in an assembly. So it's beautiful how the same word, okay, had taken 2 levels or even more. So يَجْمَعُكُمْ, like each one bringing together all our parts, so that we come back again to life. And also we are not going to be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will gather all of us in one assembly. يَوْمَ يَجْمَعُكُمْ لِيَوْمِ الْجَمْعِ. That happens, okay, following this sayha that you were talking about from Surah Yasin. فَإِذَا هُمْ مُحْضَرُونَ. They are present. Okay, present in all their dimensions, not only physical, but mentally, emotionally, in our own imaginations, in our taste, and all our dimensions. We will be present again.
Okay.
Make sense?
Now, it does. Yeah. And I was just wondering if there's a hadith which explains the process that takes place. Like in the grave, our body disappeared with the soil. The soul, the nafs was with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He reconstituted, put them back together again. And when nufikha fi sur, then we will wake up from the graves. And then when Allah says, in kanat illa sayhatan wahidatan faizahum jami'un ladayna muhdarun. So when all this process is taking place, is there any hadith that explains?
No, I mean the Quran itself is clear about it. Okay, that there will be like two calls. Okay.
Yes.
The first one to indicate the inauguration of the day of judgment. Okay. فنفخ في الصور. Okay. ففزع من في السماوات ومن في الأرض. And the following verse is ثم نفخ فيه أخرى فإذا هم قيام ينظرون. So the first one is really like to indicate that this is the beginning of the day of a judgment. And then there will be another call, okay, and then everybody will come out, okay, into that assembly. ثم نفخ فيه أخرى فإذا هم قيام ينظرون.
Also, Allah Himself says that وَإِذَا نُفِخَ الصُّورِ فَإِذَا مِنَ الْأَجْدَاثِ إِلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَنْسِلُونَ.
Yes, yeah. Right? Again, they are moving, okay, all of them in one assembly. Again, you see, it's beautiful that you are bringing really these verses, and then you can connect among them to make a full picture. You see what I mean? Like, okay, but all are like heading in the same direction. That with small details here and there, but if you put them together, okay, they will lead you to see the full scene, okay, which is really the assembly.
I'd like to make a request to you, Brother Walid, if you don't mind. In one of these lectures, if you would take the time to put together is the scenario as Allah describes in the Quran. I'm not talking about the hadith.
Yes.
That'll be so beautiful.
Yeah. But you see that will be really like a little, I mean, a topic by itself. Okay.
Right.
But what we are trying to see, what is the relevance of this to the surah that we are really discussing.
Right.
Like in this surah, okay, we are seeing number 9 and 10 to the best of my knowledge, okay, that probably the fact that they are in the middle of the surah, you see the word Taghabun, which was used to designate the whole surah to be the title of the surah. It gives me the clue, if you like, that this most likely is really the central theme of the surah. But again, the central theme, although it was discussed before, but let us see, not today, but through our discussions, subsequent discussions, how that central theme, okay, is used, okay, to discuss other issues, okay, that face the new society in Medina. Let me just give you a small hint, and inshallah we'll be talking in more details about that. The way I see it is that the the belief, okay, in Mecca, the people were basically called upon to the new message, and it was definitely up to each individual to accept or not. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And that continues. Okay. You will accept by your free choice. Okay. To believe or not to believe, to accept the new message or not to accept the new message. Mm-hmm. But in Medina, things became different. It's what are the social implications of your belief? Okay, it is not only enough to say, okay, I believe, and it was not enough just to say, okay, I am part of I believe or I belong to the new message, okay, and I am affiliating myself with the new message. There are implications, and there are issues that may happen, that may become obstacles preventing you to believe, okay, but preventing you of the implications of that belief, the social implications of that belief, the political implications of that belief, the economic implications of that belief. Mm-hmm. You see, this is what we are going, inshallah, to, and that will give us a new way of looking even at the issue of gaining and losing, okay, in this life and in the hereafter, compared to that same concept like discussed in during the Meccan period.
Brother Kamal has a question. Yeah, go ahead, Brother Kamal.
I was thinking right now is always like this time or last time, and doesn't matter any life, any world, any country. Like people has always said that Shahada, you say I'm Muslim, that's okay. Mm-hmm. But he said Shahada, he's okay, he found the job, he get married, he continue his life. Mm-hmm. But he paused that part. He is just the believer. As when you say the gain and loss, one other side of the guy, he's like something scientifical, intelligent guy. He's studying, he's doing something for humanity, the better life. Mm-hmm. Keep studying. This guy and the other guys take the Shahada. He is a Muslim. He paused his life. It's not the same for the scientific guy.
Yes. You see, this is
the gain is the damn thing that they gain. Who's the loser then when you gain and lose? That means if you pause yourself, you lose.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why we are saying that becomes really Taghabun. Okay, like you become maghboon, because you are not building on that belief. Okay, and there are implications not only towards yourself but to your fellow citizens. Okay, and you see that, and again you will see how really important, okay, to see that, okay, how to adopt the issues of your society, the problems of your own society, how to advance your own society.
When I look at the one, even I'm from Turkey,
and that should not.
When I look at the people, like they say, I have a good person, I have a job, all these things. Then they look like they are going shopping. I want to go to Mecca, I'm going to go to Hajj, I'm going to go to Umrah, is doing it. And he says that they are just like shopping. You go in the mall, they're like for future life, they want to get buy the Jannah or whatever they got. When I try to tell them, say, this is not the like you sitting on the whole watching TV all day alone, and just go the one time in Mecca or Hajj, God's not gonna look at you the what you gain you have. I cannot criticize, but when I look at this one, his whole past entire life that the guy is like after retired is not doing nothing. 20 years. He's sitting on the cafe, he's playing a game all day alone. I said, this is not life. When
and
I
this
say
is
them,
why
they get mad at me.
And in fact, the surah, this surah and the others that we are going to discuss in this para, okay, and honestly addresses that important, this disconnect that you are talking about, brother Jamal. What you are saying, there is a disconnect, okay, that you and I think you are describing it very beautifully, that someone as if like saying, okay, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anna muhammadan, instead of asking what are really the implications, the personal and the social implications of that. Okay, what I am supposed really to do next, how I can advance my day, okay, and also so there is this, they stopped there. They are disconnecting that belief from the implications that we are going to talk about, okay, and the surah in particular, this surah in particular will be discussing issues that may become an obstacle, okay. In other words, why this person that Brother Jamal is describing, what are the obstacles? I am not here to judge that person and tell him, okay, that you have stopped there and you are not advancing. And no, I want to understand what are the issues, what are the problems that are hindering that individual from going forward, from increasing his gains, and how to protect him from losing in that transaction. You see, this is where we are going to focus. Many times, really, we are very good at describing the problems that are happening in our world, in our countries, in our governments, okay? But sometimes I say to myself, we are sick of giving, we know this. We know that we have a problem. Give me a solution. Give me some suggestions. How I can come out from this? How can I help myself and help the people around me to come out of this? And this is what we are going to. So what are the things that hinder us from or putting us in that disconnect, that are disconnecting between our belief and what that belief should imply? There are really a lot of responsibilities. A lot of actions need to be taken in order really like to really gain this life and the other life. And believe me, I have said it before, and I will say it with big deal of confidence, that if we fail here, I don't know how are we going to win in the next life.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at around you, I'm serious, that people is failing. They are not doing nothing. Not even thinking. They are not using intelligence. They are not using their mind at all. When I say, why are you not doing anything?
Brother Jamal, here is what I am really focusing on, and I want all of us to focus on and see how Quran can help us in that. I want to move from really, we know the problem, but I want to know what is causing that problem so that I can help people be capable of coming out of it. okay, how to regain that connection between believing, okay, and the implications of that belief, the social, the economic, the political, the financial, all these things that, I mean, each surah is going really to address one aspect of it. But as you can see, the common thing among all what we are going to discuss is how to restore the unity with the universe and how to restore the unity between this life and the next life. Till now, we are really looking at these two lives as separated. And Quran is talking, it is one transaction. This is why Quran is taking what you are doing here and applying the same term to the day, he will call it the day of Taghabun. You see, unless we restore that unity, okay, till today we are still saying, oh, I am, like Jamal was saying, okay, I am now going to Hajj, oh, this is for next life. But then comes back as if there is no connection.
Nothing.
Nothing. You see,
until you're dead.
But you see where is the problem? Okay, you are saying that how they stop their life. Okay,
they look like disconnected from life, event. Like regular life. Yeah, they disconnected themselves.
Disconnected. Yes.
So like I'm done over here because I'm done. No, you're not done.
So let the surah help us to see how we can restore that unity with the universe, between this life and the next life, but as the way we saw it in Surah Al-Hujurat, how to bring the unity among the people. And now you can see how Tawheed, or the unity of Allah, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has really become a vision that includes how to unite between the people, how to unite among or between this life and the next life, how to unite between us and the rest of this existence, of this universe. Okay, so this is really, again, what the vision that we are really talking about.